You know, there is not just one LGBT community. I like to speak of the LGBT communities. Men, women, trans, bi. And how do you talk to each other? How do you message between each other? Well, two guys here tonight are going to tell us how. Bridgemen, welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
Which one of you wants to take it? What is Bridgemen and how did it get started?
Well, Bridgemen is a program that was started from the Stop AIDS Project. It is a grant that was provided by the CDC, and it's a community building program for gay, bi, and trans men who are looking to give back to our community. We organize fun and relevant community service projects for guys to get involved, make friends, and work on a common project to develop a common goal and work towards that.
Right. Now, that's the soundbite, I know. Nick, why did you get involved? What was it about this program that you said, that interests me and I can help?
I think that there's a lot of opportunity to get involved in community in San Francisco, but I think what makes Bridgemen unique is that it's non-hierarchical, it's democratic, it's egalitarian. When somebody says, I want to do something, you know, they can do that from the moment they walk in the door or, 12 months down the line from having been involved with us. And there's parity between members. Mm-hmm. I think that really speaks to something that a lot of us are looking for. It's certainly something I was looking for.
Right. Now, you originally came from Southern California, and you're from that gay metropolis of Cincinnati.
Yeah, Ohio.
What was it about this program, though, on an emotional basis, that made you think this is different? I mean, I was here in the early, mid-'80s when the epidemic first kind of burst forth and was here during the dark days, and we talked a lot about the San Francisco model of AIDS care and community building. Mm-hmm. And I remember once Armistead Maupin said something that I'll never forget. He said, I always used to say, wouldn't it be great if every gay person became purple for a second? The world would be astounded at who we were. Mm-hmm. And in a sense, AIDS made a lot of people turn purple. First you came out as being HIV positive, and then you came out as being gay. How is what you're doing with Bridgemen both an extension of or unique from the San Francisco model?
It's really an extension of, essentially, if you think about it and what Stop AIDS had done during the HIV epidemic, it was a group of men who came together in a living room and created a safe space to have a conversation about what to do next. And here we are 30 years later, still under the Stop AIDS Project model. And it's now gone from a group of 5 men sitting around a table, even Bridgemen was a group of 5 men at one time, to now a group of 40 to 50 guys sitting around. And what we really strive to do is create a safe space for men to come together, to have frank, open, and honest conversations around our health, our well-being, and our sexuality. Right.
Now, you said before we went on that this was about bridging different communities.
Exactly.
How do you do that? I mean, you've got the uniform, which says to people, okay, we stand for something. How do you tell a group of very disparate guys that there's something in common and come and sit in a room with us and chat?
Well, I think for me, the first example that kind of comes up for me about the power that we have to provide opportunity for people to think differently about bridging communities is, we had an experience where we volunteered on World AIDS Day to kind of be staff, de facto staff for the Castro Theater, and we watched How to Survive a Plague, which was about ACT UP in New York.
Incredible film.
Incredible. It is. And the person that I'm thinking of had said to me, and this is someone who had basically come to us and said, I'm looking for guys to hang out with, I'm looking for new friends to make. I enjoy volunteering. I also like opportunity just to hang out and be social with my friends after I do that. And after he saw the film, he said, before I saw that film, I would never have thought of myself as an AIDS activist, and that would have been something I kind of, hesitated to identify with because I didn't feel like I'd kind of done my part. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he saw that film and kind of saw what people who were empowered in New York during those times to do, for him was not wildly different from why he's motivated to be in Bridgemen. To hear somebody say, now I feel like I can say with pride I'm an AIDS activist.
Right. And is that how you would describe yourself, each of you, an AIDS activist?
I think so. I mean, I consider myself a social activist first and foremost. I think HIV is just one of many issues that we kind of survive as gay and queer men in our communities. And I like that you said earlier that, there are communities. Mm-hmm. We are not one community. I think Bridgemen understand that. I think Frank and I understand that.
I think of myself as a community activist, and I think about when I first moved to San Francisco and how hard it was to make friends. And I think most men who move to San Francisco have that experience and that challenge of getting out and getting involved. And they walk down the street and they're like, I'm not really a bear, I'm not really a twink, I don't really know where I fit in. So Bridgemen provides an opportunity for men from many different backgrounds, different life experiences, different careers to come together and do something and meet men that they would normally never have an opportunity to meet.
Now, I see the rockin' uniforms going on here. So I mean, it's like you stop into a, I wouldn't say phone booth, but boy, I'm really dating myself there. So you step into the Apple store and what? You come out looking like this? What
bam. Yeah, so the jackets are actually something that we reward the men. The guys who get more involved and are more engaged, they generally are on the leadership team for Bridgemen. It's kind of our thank you to them for getting involved and helping us achieve our goal. So many of them get their jackets with their names and the Bridgemen logo on it. Yeah. And we always have free t-shirts, so if anybody wants a t-shirt, stop by Stop AIDS Project.
Right. And so I mean, what this identifies you as, in a sense, is someone who is out to have fun, but do what is it, the old phrase, do good by doing well, or do well by doing good?
Do good, get dirty.
Yeah. So I mean, so you're supposed to look like kind of, it's a mechanic looking thing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mechanic look, you know. And a lot of the outreach that we do is on the streets, and it's at night or it's in the wintertime and it's cold. So, you know, if we're passing out condoms and lube, we want to stay warm, but we want to be identified. If we're pulling weeds in Golden Gate Park, we want to make sure that people who don't know who we are kind of identify with us and be like, wow, you guys are really awesome. What are you up to? What's this? I want to get involved.
So what is the ultimate goal? I mean, it sounds like it's all good, but it's not just specifically AIDS specific. I mean, you know, you're giving out condoms and lube, and that's great, but you're also, as you say, pulling weeds in Golden Gate Park. What do those two things have in common?
I think ultimately what we want to do is to empower people to feel that they have leadership opportunities to do what maybe they don't think that they can do by themselves. I mean, we know that people who have a sense of belonging, who have a support system, feel more empowered in general. And that's not just to lead a service project, that's to go after a job that they want, it's to go after a relationship they want, it's to be invested in their lives in general and their well-being. I think that, you know, I've had the benefit of being a member and a staff member, and so I see that kind of progression that happens within people. You know, I've had the experience of seeing somebody who never really spoke up and said, you know, kind of articulated like, I have pride in being a member of this group, and then at the conclusion of our holiday toy drive, where everybody was just so humbled by how successful it was, this person said, I sat for 4 hours in my living room like doing inventory of all of these children's toys gifts, and I was so humbled and proud of both what I contributed to this and everything that I got to do in collaboration with these other men.
So building community at a really basic level.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In our last few moments, I'd like each of you to tell me, I mean, for Nick and for you, Frank, what do you think is a priority for you and Bridgemen in the next year? Let's start with you, Nick.
I think a priority for me is to ensure that we stay as connected to the people that have been faithful and made Bridgemen what it is, as we are available to the newer members who are discovering us.
I would say my priority would be to make sure that everybody feels welcome and has a place to be. I think gay men in our community, we don't treat each other very well. And I think that for men to come together and build community and be the change they want to see is really important, and that's my priority. Great.
Well, thanks, Nick, and thanks, Frank, for helping the gay communities be all that they can be.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Next up, we're going to speak to Dwayne Kramer about the new work he's doing to develop an app for AIDS education. We'll be right back.